Very good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for joining our webinar. We'll wait for some time, a couple of minutes before we kickstart our webinar so that everyone can join in. Yeah. For those who have joined in just now, a very good afternoon and welcome everyone. We'll wait for a couple of minutes. We have seen a tremendous response for our previous masterclass and this webinar, and we have received a good amount of registration. So that we'll wait for some time uh, for the people to join, so that this session can be very beneficial for everyone who are registered. Additionally, till the session joins, just a brief on the agenda of the webinar, and how the flow of the event will be. First of all, please, if you have any Q&A, we will take it up during the session, and also we have a dedicated Q&A round at the end of the webinar. So whatever your questions are, you can use the chat box of this meeting, and we will get this answered with our product head. Apart from that, we have some polls. Can you hear us? Can you Are you able to hear me? Yes. Thank you for your response, guys. So you can use the Q&A chat to paste any questions what you have. We have also included certain polls, just to get some inputs and check what we can help you with in our future sessions. So please feel free to use that. Also, we will share a detailed summary and the recordings, and some of the key insights which will be shared in this webinar, and a bit of some good documents going forward during the webinar and after the webinar itself. So stay tuned. Yeah. So I think we have a good amount of clients already in our webinar. So we'll kickstart this session. So again, good afternoon to all those who have joined just now. On behalf of Protean, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you for joining this webinar, which will definitely help you to future-proof your KYC and CKYC processes. We are thrilled to have a diverse and distinguished audience with us today, representing banking, cooperative institutes, NBFCs, and beyond. Basically, the whole umbrella of BFSI family we are. It's great to see such anticipation, specifically for optimizing such IC KYC processes and staying ahead of the ever evolving regulation landscapes. What we have in today's talking about regulations in today's regulatory landscape, we can see CKYC compliance has become more crucial than ever. Okay, more smarter, more edgier, and all of us have to be compliant with those processes day in and day out. And the quickly we are to adapt, the quickly we are to evolve with updates, like the latest PMLA amendments and RBI regulations and guidelines. Organizations, I feel, need innovation, lead efficient and scalable solutions which can help them to adhere to this compliant regulations, be compliant, so that they can effortlessly scale, in this landscape. So that's exactly what we are going to discuss, how you can optimize your processes and get adjusted to this compliance with us. So not further delaying it, I will introduce the host. I will introduce the session host, who will be the product owner of Protean as CKYC solution, which is Saurabh Shukla. So Saurabh ji, kindly I request you to take the stage and enlighten us forward on this topic.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I am audible to everyone. Perfect. Thanks for the confirmation. Now what I'll do, I'll share my screen and get your inputs. We'll share the thoughts. We'll exchange the thoughts on CKYC and what are your expectations and how you want to go ahead with that. And accordingly, the Q&A session, and that's how we'll proceed further in this session. Perfect. So for every one of you, let me begin with a very warm welcome and thank you for participating in this session. And to moving ahead on Protean CKYC solution, when we say that Protean CKYC solution, this primarily works on uh, working on behalf of you. We are not changing anything which Sarsa is doing or which CKYC India is doing. No, we are not doing anything. We are being a TSP partner to all the banks to help you automate your process, streamline your process, and make it more efficient so that you could do the reporting to Cersei on an immediate basis. So T plus 10 days ka tat is there, but we ensure that it's done as quick as possible. So that's where we pitch in. We provide a TSP solution to the banks, financial institution, insurance company, and all the BFSI segment so that they could report the data to Cersei. So clearing out those thoughts कि Cersei के competitor में कुछ ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It's nothing like that. It's just the TSP solution which we'll be providing to everyone. So considering that as a baseline, we'll start with the Protean setup. So Protean is a 28-year-old organization and have been into a different segments. So primarily, we have been into a PAN issuance where we have got the approval from Income Tax Department. Subsequently, we have a license from PFRDA wherein we are running our CR and NPS business, and we have a good amount of a market share. And in Atal Pension Yojana from Government of India, we are the only CRA to work on this. Apart from that, we are a TSP for ONDC also, wherein we are building the solution, building the block of ONDC and open finance at the back end. Subsequently, we have a license from UIDAI to provide authentication and KYC services, and recently the sub-AUA services also, which is very prominent to every player. Earlier, the setup was like only regulated entities could use it or global AUA KUs could use it, but now everyone could use it using sub-AUA and KUA concept. Apart from that, we have a license from CCA to provide an e-sign services, and recently we have launched our own platform as well, which is known as a e-sign Pro. Apart from that, we have a license from RBI to operate as an account aggregator and allied services, data allied services. That's how we operate into that. These are a couple of numbers where and the market share which we obtained from past 28 years. That's how we process. Talking about Cersei. So Cersei, back in 2016 when it all started, so majorly bank has contributed into the data wherein uh, every bank, every insurance company, and all the regulators has taken the initiative, and all the regulated entities has supported the cause, and they have inputted the data in the best of their strength. Whatsoever data was available, they continue to contribute to the CKYCR. And that's how today we have around 100 plus crore ka database which could be used, which is a humongous amount of a possibility which could be used for multiple purposes. So that's what we're going to talk about, how we can use Cersei data, Cersei CKYCR data to onboard a customer. And once it is onboarded, how can we report those data and we can enrich the Cersei CKYC data by a quick straight through processing. That's what we're going to discuss. I would also like to highlight on the latest PMLA amendments which has happened in the recent time, which happened somewhere in the month of June, and subsequently the regulators has also in process to issue a specific circular, let's say for NBFCs and banks. RBI has released a circular on 26th of November 2024, Subsequently, SEBI, PFRDA, IRDN will be releasing a relevant circular for CKYC. So just to give you a quick glimpse, I'm sure that since it's an old amendment which has happened, and many people would have been aware, but it's good to refresh the things. See what are the interpretations and how we are taking that ahead. So talking very first thing about is couple of clauses wherein REs should give a priority to KYC based CKYC based account opening for their customer onboarding process. So KYC based onboarding should be considered as the first priority. That's how it is has been mentioned. If it is not working, if the data is not available, or if the data is old in CERSAI system, then hopefully you can go ahead with the different options, which could be an Aadhaar, which could be PAN, which could be voter ID, driving license, any other mode. But the priority should be given to KIN number so that the huge amount of a data which is there with CERSAI can be used to onboard a particular customer. So we would strongly recommend to use CERSAI CKYCR to onboard a customer because it has very enriched data. When we talk about other OVDs, let's take an example of driving license. It has your DOB, gender, date of birth, and then you have your address, you have name, you have other details as well. But when we talk about, or similar kind of a data is available with all the OVDs, but when we talk about CERSAI, they have a huge amount of a data. Let's say father's name, mother's maiden name, spouse name, all those details are available in this databases. And not only it's about the Aadhaar number is there or PAN number is there, it has all the details. Let's say if I as a customer have onboarded myself with 10 different bank giving different documents. Let's say at bank one, I have used my Aadhaar plus PAN. Bank two, I've used my Aadhaar plus PAN plus driving license. Bank three, I've used my PAN plus voter ID. Or at the fourth bank, I have used my PAN plus passport. So CERSAI, these four bank has four different details of mine, but CERSAI has all the details. So using a CERSAI data is the best match today because it will give you a comprehensive onboarding of a customer, which will have every detail at your end. You have each and everything. In case the customer says that the details are not matching, mobile number has been updated or address has been updated or the details are not proper. So in that situation, that comes a 9(1)(c) where you can opt for a different option. But CKYCR data is utmost relevant, utmost important, and crucial to onboard a customer and giving a best experience to the customer. If people are there from the banking segment, I'm sure you would be aware that nominee has to be given for this account, who would be the nominee. If you pull the data from CERSAI, there is a huge amount of data which is relevant to the parent details are there, spouse details are also there, father details is also there. So all those details can be consumed for customer onboarding and eliminating the friction into the overall onboarding process. So these was the two things. Third thing is if there is any update in CKYCR that the existing TAT of 10 days remain intact, there's no change into it. There's no change into it. There's an additional setup where 7 days ka TAT has been given to the RE so that they could upload the data. And fourth, and the very important thing, which CERSAI is working on today, is that at any given point of a time, if a customer's details are getting updated, people from banking or people from NBFC would strongly understand that because they have something called re-KYC process or update the KYC process, which fundamentally works on a process or RBI's invoke categorization of a customer. Let's say high, medium, low risk customers are there. In those situations you could in case of, let's say, low risk customers where you have to do a re-KYC in 10 years. If you're doing the re-KYC in 10 years, customer is not traceable. So using CERSAI data, CERSAI will initiate if a customer is there with bank one who's a high risk customer or he's a low risk customer, but you're not able to trace that customer. You're not able to identify that customer. You have called them, you have gone to their address, but you're not able to do the re-KYC. If the same customer has been shifted to some other location and have completed the KYC with bank two, and the bank two has updated to CERSAI CKYCR, in that situation, it will come back to all the institution where that one person has hold an account, so that those entities could update their KYC records. So in that way, the re-KYC process could get very streamlined and more authenticated. So that's the four major changes which has been amended this time, and where uh, the ministry is also of the alignment, or ministry is also thinking towards using the CERSAI CKYCR data, because it's a huge data. It's a huge data. And it's an enriched data. It's not only huge, it's enriched data apart from other OVDs. So it's better, and we would strongly recommend to start using those data. Uh, whatsoever is your question on these things, please do post it on the chat. We'll continue to answer. We'll continue to answer at the end of the session, and subsequently, once we end this session, we'll answer those questions, and we'll get a couple of questions from Paul also. So now, while building this solution, it's not like that we have just built out of the thought, but we have done the proper research, talk to bank, talk to NBFCs, talk to different segments of BFSI sector, be it insurance company, be it bank, be it NBFC, at all scales. It could be a largest bank, it could be a smallest bank, or it could be a largest NBFC or a smallest NBFC, or it could be a stockbroker, a smallest stockbroker, or a bigger giants. So we have spoken to almost everyone. What we have identified is the verification challenges. So there are a couple of entities, or there are people who don't have a bandwidth, who don't have a time, who don't have a resources to verify all the document which has come and uploading it to CERSAI. So basic onboarding has been done. Yes, this person actually exists and these are the actual details. But while submitting it to CERSAI, the verification needs to be done, so that multiple level of validations are there. So if something has gone past through at stage one, it should get captured at stage two. So we have seen that verification challenges was always there with the financial institution. Subsequently, there were multiple steps which was involved in verifying these details. It's not only about verifying this person belongs to the same entity or not, this person having the same data or not, but there are multiple validations like Aadhaar number. Someone has given 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 1 2. That's not an Aadhaar number. So verifying those Aadhaar number is utmost important. Or I could realign with my earlier days with Kotak Mahindra Bank, when I have got one Aadhaar number which was registered on the name of Hanumanji, and that Aadhaar number was given by one of the customer in the remotest part of the country. So that's how we identify. That's how we identify whether this is a genuine Aadhaar, what is Aadhaar status, and all those setup can be verified. Last and the most important thing is that once you do all these things, once you update any data, or let's say a chunk of data to CERSAI, they also have to increase the bandwidth of the system to check all the validations which have been performed on your data. So after validating, they ultimately reject the data because it's not in a correct shape and format. So the success rate, if you're uploading 100 records to CERSAI's portal, because it is not updated correctly and you have not given the right data to CERSAI, they have to reject it, considering the facts and figures. So the what we have seen is around 60. So it has gradually increased, but initially we have seen from the lowest NBFCs, or let's say smallest NBFC, it was somewhere around 70% decline rates was there. So we averagely what we have done is 60-40 is a ratio. 60% is getting approved. So out of 100 records which has been uploaded to CERSAI, 60 has been approved, 40 has been rejected because of different reasons. Data was not proper, data was not updated properly, image size was not proper, image was redundant, not able to do any activity on that. So multiple reasons due to which these get rejected. That's where we come in, and that's where we solve the problem. So when we say we solve the problem, what we actually do, if you don't have a resource, or if there is a crunch of resource or bandwidth, then that's where we come in and we provide our solution where my system will do each and everything on behalf of a person who could be deployed at your end and doing the transactions. So the best thing is ki there is a machine who's doing, which is doing every job which is needed so that the correct and authenticated record is getting updated to CERSI. So that's where we pitch in. Compliance angle towards it. So it's a directive. Everyone is aware. Okay, within 10 days, these data need to be reported to CERSI. And it's not working days, it's 10 days, 10 calendar days. And all the REs has the similar kind of an arrangement. Penalties may be invoked in future, but today I am not sure if anyone could has been penalized for not reporting data with them, but it is utmost important, at least in RBI circulars and SEBI circulars. It has been specifically mentioned in the codes that it needs to be reported within as soon as you start the customer based relationship, within 10 days you have to report the data to the customer. So now there is many interpretations are there for account based relationship. So if you're onboarding a customer, let's take an example. I am applying for a loan and my loan has been sanctioned. That doesn't mean I have started the account-based relationship. It's only the sanction facility. The different rules, regulations will apply to that. But as soon as I disburse the loan, my EMI cycle starts. That's the date when it is considered the account-based relationship has been started. If I've created a customer ID of a particular person or a pre-approved loan for a customer, that doesn't mean he's my customer until he start taking my services. So that's the account-based relationship. Once you start the account-based relationship, then only you should update the data to CERSI. It's not like that if you don't have a relationship with the customer and still you're updating, that's a separate game. Ideally, you should not do that. This is the broad level architecture, how we tend to deploy the solution. We could have a different mechanisms, different mechanisms. When I say different mechanisms, it fundamentally means how I can integrate with your system. It could be your core banking system where I could pull the data. It could be your DMS where I could pull the data or I pull the images. It could be your CRM as well. Or in case of your LOS or LMS also, I could be able to integrate with all of them at a given point of a time, and we will be able to service you on three parameters. First is API based integration. So API may what we do, we directly pull the data from your system, do all the validations and give it to the CERSI for kin generation if it is a new customer. Subsequently, we also have a bulk upload mechanism wherein if the person is not able to do an API integration with the system, there's an option of bulk upload where you upload the file, we'll process the file in the same manner. The rules, the validation, everything remain intact. It's only the input parameter. You're going from gate 1 or gate 2 or gate 3. So up API say, if you're integrating via API or you're integrating via bulk upload or manual entry, it's just three form factors to enter into the system. Once you enter into the system, all the details, be it validation of input validation, dedupe validation, image extraction, everything will remain intact as is for all the three gates. And there is no bifurcation of key. I'll not report this data and I'll report only the API data. It's not like that. All the data will be reported to CERSI within T+5 days is what we ensure, because after getting a response from CERSI, then updating it to the KIN number, it takes time. So we don't wait for 10 days ho jaye, ya 5 days, 5 days is crossing, then only I'll start updating. We'll ensure ki at the quickest friction possible, we'll upload the data to CERSI so that if there's some confusion or if there is some concern, it could be tackled in the next 5 days. So that's what we ensure. And there's a maker checker functionality. Maker checker and authorizer functionality is also available while approving all the records. So it's not like that the system is taking its own decision. No, it's not like that. At any point of a time, if any data is incorrect, which is not right, it could be get into a different queue altogether, and it will be go for a manual intervention by the people. It could be a maker or a checker. Now, let me take a pause over here and show you what actually and how actually does it look like and how my portal looks like. Hope everyone is able to see my screen. Perfect. So now this is the portal which we have designed internally, and that's how we operate. Here you can log in to do the different kind of authentication. Since there's no API integration, and I can't show you an API integration because API integration is kind of a magic which happens at the back end, and no one sees that how it happens. There is a huge respect for the coders who develop those things, and at the back end you just pull the data from the code system and submit it to Cersei and submit it to the system. All the processing is done at the back end. You're not able to see anything. It's all magic. So that's the reason what we have taken an option over here and to display it to everyone is we have taken a bulk upload gate. We explain ki how the system function, and we have taken all the possible scenarios which could go wrong. Likewise, ki the date of birth is missing, or let's say email ID is missing, or let's say phone number is missing in the data which need to be uploaded. So we have taken all the possible things which could go wrong while while reporting the KYC data to Cersei. So here the customer has logged in using an ops admin. It could be a maker, it could be a checker. So this is how the portal looks like. As soon as you log in, this is how the portal looks like. It gives you a bird eye view of everything. If it is for the management, they could have a complete view, or if it could be for the leaders, they want to see what is my TAT, how the things has been operating, how things have been working, how many of them has been completed out of. These are very limited record, but if the quantum of data is super high, let's say in a month or in a day you're processing around 10,000 transactions or 10,000 records or a lakh record, it's become more prevalent for them to have this kind of a view, so that they could know ki out of 1 lakh record which has been updated, which is supposed to get updated within 10 days, what's the status of it? Where is it lagging? Is it been completed? Is it been rejected? Where has not been found? Why it has been not done? Where's the concern? Where is the problem? And at any given point of a time, if you click on any of the option, you could just get into it and you would be able to download the file. And if you could see over here, this is the tab which I was talking about. It's give you a bird eye view of everything. Let's say if I have to update data, if I have updated onboard a customer on, let's say, 1st of January, and by 10th of January or by 9th of January I have to complete it. So it gives you a day wise chat ki at this particular day how many records is there, how many are pending. So what is riskier to me is ki T plus 5 days mein everything will be closed. T plus 10, this is the high aging cases and need to be reported on an immediate basis. So this is the bird eye view which we provide. This is the internal KYC data. Once you upload the data, we also ensure that if the same data, if one customer, let's take an example, ideally some of the institutions do this activity internally at their end, but since we are providing the solution, we have thought of giving the end-to-end solution to the customer so that they should not rely on any other system to do the same activity. So here what we have done is, uh, if a particular customer has come to an entity for taking one product, let's say I'll take an example of a bank because they have multiple or wide variety of a product, or let's say stockbrokers. If a customer has come to take first day as a savings account, he's trying to open a savings account, and he's the first customer who's opening a second savings account. You'll take all the details, you'll take the you'll create a customer ID for that, and you start the relationship with the customer. He deposited 10,000 amount, he has been given ATM card, he is using UPI and everything. Down the line, 2 months, 3 months, now he wants to opt a loan, a personal loan of let's say 2 lakh rupees within 2 months, or let's say within 15 days. Now this 2 months or 15 days is purely configurable parameter. If bank says that, bank may have this validation at their end also, but this is an additional layer of validation which is built. So if the same customer is coming in next 15 days or 20 days to take a personal loan, now in this situation, since the dates has not, since the things has not been changed, the details remain as is, the details remain intact. He's giving Aadhaar number, he's giving PAN number also, he's giving the same kind of a detail, no change into that. So we'll check basis on that whether this detail is already available or this data has been reported in last 20 days, 50 days, 30 days, 10 days. So we'll just highlight or we'll raise an alert that this data was reported under this category 10 days back. Now it is up to the owner to decide whether should I update these records again or not. If there's any change in the records, we'll give you that also. If the mobile number has changed while opening a savings account and while opening a personal loan account, if the account number or sorry, mobile number or email ID has changed, we'll update you on that as well. But if there's no change, we'll still update you. There's no change, but this is the thing. Shall we proceed or not? So that's how the things have been built. Now talking about the file, how do we upload it? It's simple CSV or Excel file which we upload. The file format remains same. There's no change. There's no additional data which Protean would be taking in this system to deploy or to submit it to CERSAI. It's as same as the data which is required by CERSAI or CKYC to be uploaded. It's the same data format. It's the same data set. So we take the data. Everything is there. You can see the email ID is missing over here. It's not complete, it's partial. As I've said, we have taken all the possible scenarios which could go wrong. So we are just trying to explain that. Click to the file, we'll upload the file. Now, as you can see here, I am just giving a unique ID, email ID. So these things can be configured. These things are configurable. If you want to see something else, I'll be able to give you that as well. It's purely configurable at any given point of a time. Now you can see a state as a new case. It's a new case which has come to the arrangement and needs to be reported to CERSAI. System will continue to process it. Will validate. Backend validation is going on. I'm just showing you all the details are correctly inputted or not. I'm just showing you that. Backend is doing its job. Email ID is incorrect, but system is still not identified this whether it is incorrect. At the backend, it's happening. And we are taking a slow time so that you could understand what are the capabilities of the system. Now, data invalid, data validation, state is data validation, and status is data invalid. It will also highlight where it is invalid. So email ID is not correct or it's partial. So now a maker or any person will perform this activity depending on the type of record which is needed. Since this is all PII data that needs to be updated by someone, because system will not take a decision on behalf of customer or behalf of the bank or an institution. So status now is data valid. Now it will process the next level. Now DD fail. DD fail is ultimately means same example which I have given you a couple of seconds back. इसकी same data has been reported 10 days back, and now the same customer with same kind of a data. There's no change. 10 days back, the same customer has come to me opening a savings account using Aadhaar and PAN. Today also, the same customer is coming using these details. Now, since this is a manual upload which we are doing, now the third stage is then OCR validation or image validation, I would say. So what we do in image validation, we validate whether the customer which is been onboarded and the details which is available in the system, does it belong to the same person? Just to give an example, person A is onboarded as a customer, but the details which has been provided by the system, it could be a goof up by the system, it could be goof up by anyone, it could be a human error, it could be a system error, it could be anything. But system will validate कि if data is of Mr. A, the images should be of Mr. A only. It should not be for Mr. B. And if a PAN is there, Aadhaar is there, or any other detail, all the details and images should match to each other. If it is not matching, then data will not proceed further. So how it will help you, any error or any system loophole or miscommunication which has happened into the system or glitch has happened to a core system, this system will be able to identify those things at this level before reporting it, because it's kind of a gatekeeper. Before submitting that data to CERSAI, I'll validate each and everything so that your job is reduced up to an extent where if yesterday you were taking, let's say, an hour to process one or two record, or let's say 100 records, today it will be done within 2 to 3 minutes. So that's how we do it. So here the OCR is invalid because the data which is there and the images which has been given is incorrect. Or there could be another reason where the image is of a very poor quality, where person is not able, because it's always mentioned that the photos should be of at least 50 kb and should have 150 dots per index. Subsequently, 350 kbs for POI and POA. So that's how those things has been defined, and all these validation at this level, key image is right or not. If it is going beyond that, let's say 50 kb ki jagah it is happening 60 kb, so we'll ensure that we compress it without hampering the DPIs of the images. Now, since it is an OCR invalid, someone has been highlighted to someone, and someone would have got mail, or someone would have got an alert कि there is an validation which has been failed. So someone will pitch in, someone will check a maker, a maker from a financial institution. They could check all these details. What has happened? See here, the OCR has failed. Now someone will upload a correct image of it. And record is being updated successfully. Now it will not go in a single go. It's a checker who's doing it, but now authorizer will approve it. OCR now you can the very best part of it. System has not done this activity. It was an activity which was done by someone by getting into the system. Someone has logged in, as like checker has logged in. He has verified it manually. Eyeballing has been done, and that's how he has validated the system. Now it has to be verified by the authorizer as well. That's the immediately next step which will be done. Authorizer will log in. Now this is being manually verified. Once all these validations are done, then your zip file creation starts. So as since we are not doing individual upload to the search system, it's an one-time SFTP creation for a particular entity. That's how, using your own credentials, you're using the financial institution FI code, and that's how we create the setup. After creating a setup, we'll directly push the system via an SFTP because that's the safest way to do it. Zip file is created. If you want to see what is the zip file name, all those things can be, and file has been uploaded to SFTP. These are the zip file name, the TRG file. Now my system will be able to track at every minute. We have a threshold limit. We continue to track what is the response which we have received from Cersei. So we have received the response 0, which says that your file has been uploaded successfully. Then we have response 0, which says that it has the data and data has been inserted successfully. And then we have a rep number for that. So because it's been into the process, and let's take an example, if there is an extension of a time, the reference number can be used because you can claim, or if there is an audit which is going on, you can claim that reference number has been created. We have started uploading the activity and we are awaiting the KIN number from Cersei, which happened in the same day, but still in case that can be presumed. So this is all what we have in terms of CKYC reporting solution. By using Protean CKYC solution, it will ultimately give you a complete validation. So there isn't five level, or why would suggest you should use the CKYC solution, CKYC reporting solution rather, for reporting the data to Cersei, because it gives you a data validation layer. All your validations, if something is getting loophole at your end and you want to do it, same can be taken into the system, same can be taken into the consideration into the system. Next is giving a bird eye view, which will give you a complete picture of a system. Where is your data? Where is it standing? What is the process? What is the health of your overall process? Let's take an example, because this is purely an operational process and there are 10 activities which need to be done. So you need to ensure what's the health of overall 10 activities. Is it stuck at stage 1 or at stage 7? So this will give you a complete view where it is being stuck. Third is automated reporting. A limited human intervention would be required once you onboard a customer. A limited human intervention would be required for reporting the same data to Cersei. The session or the demo which we have seen, we have given the exception scenario so that you could understand the capabilities of a system. But if you're reporting a lakh record, out of that 90,000 or 92,000 will get processed immediately. Easy integrations are there. It will overall reduce the cost of customer acquisition and the time and effort of the employees, which can be reduced. You could increase the productivity of your existing employees also by reducing these burden from them. So they just need to monitor the setup, see whether everything is right, is it in right shape or format. So we'll help you to comply with the regulatory guidelines and upload the data to Cersei. So that's what we propose. That's it from my side. I guess we should start the Q&A session. If anyone has some kind of a question, then hopefully we could. First, I'll take a questions from the chat which has been given, and then subsequently I could. So let me have this view. As of now, Sursa is providing alphanumeric ref ID in response. So far in your system, CKYC number, is it the ref ID or the mass KYC number? Okay. So mass KYC number has been recently introduced by Sursa. That's the thing which will come to you. Today we'll provide the ref ID for a time being, and as soon as the KIN is generated, then we'll be providing you with that. I'm sure. I guess that's a minor customer. In case of minor customer, yes, the details of uh, parents and the details are created, and minors are tagged to those person. Once they become major and the KYC has been done, then only the KIN number will be generated for them. So Protein will do a major checker for us. No, we'll not do that. We'll surely not do that. We'll provide you a system. System will take care of everything. In case of exceptions, your SPOC will come into the system. They will log in into the system as someone has checked that. Someone will do a making and checking activity. If support services are required, wherein resource allocation resources there, we have that arrangement. But many banks don't prefer to do that, or many financial institutions don't prefer to do that. Once we deploy this solution, it is up to you how you want to use it. We have those solutions and we could help you with that. Yes, that could be done. As I've said, the previous question is also was related to the same thing. We have that arrangement where completely everything can be outsourced to Protean, where I'll deploy a resource at your premises to handle all the cases because it's a PII data. And DPDP coming into an impact, that's make it more convenient for any institution to deploy our resources at the premises of the client, and that's how they could process the CQIC records. If we are interested in API integration, is there any demo planned for the same? API integration, there is no separate. So, see, a demo should be demo is planned only to help you understand what are the capabilities of a system. We have an APIs. If you are looking out for integration of API integration, we have a portal called Rise with Protean. CKYC search and download APIs and upload APIs are already available on those portal. You can log in onto the portal. I'll just ping the portal, the website name. You can just log in and start the API integration. If you're specifically looking out for onboarding a customer using search and download APIs. Okay, will you showing an actual search portal to understand the difference between? No, I'm not going to. Okay, we'll not get into that because that's not our purview. We'll not be doing that activity. This is the portal which will uh, automate the things or verify the things before reporting it to Sarsa. Sarsa has a different portal altogether, which where you could, if your data is authentic, and if you are having, let's say, daily basis or monthly basis, you have a 100 or 50 records, and if you have a bandwidth of doing that by yourself, it's the best thing to do. You can go to the portal and you can upload that activity. But if you understand your volumes are very high and you have to deploy a huge amount of an army or a team to uh, perform all the activities and systems are not in place. So in that, we could help you with this portal. This portal is separate from Sursize portal. That's a separate thing altogether. This portal will only help you what is happening at the backend, will give you a view of it, where it has been stuck. Let's say, or let me give you one quick view. So this is the complete workflow management system of CERSAI data reporting. This is how all the data will be reported to CERSAI. Now, the flow I can explain you, but system will tell you कि where it has been stuck, what is happening at the back end. If some human is doing, they could explain you कि सर आज मैं ये कर रहा था, ये काम हो चुका है, एक्सेल में मैंने VLOOKUP लगा दिया है, यहाँ पे मैंने इमेजेस को मैच कर लिए हैं. System will not tell you. System will give you an alerts कि this is how I am performing. So those answering to the question, both are separate portal. I'm not going to integrate with that. It's an SFTP mechanism via which I will use your keys, your class 2 and 3 certificate to sign the file, to create the zip file and send it to CERSAI for processing. I'll not use a front-end system of CERSAI. Can data due fail means the another bank has submitted the same customer? No, it doesn't mean that. It actually means that the same customer you have onboarded 10 days back and you're trying to update the same customer, same details again, which is ultimately not needed because there's no change into that data. What is an advantage of using Protean CKYC instead of doing directly to CERSAI portal? Okay, so here we provide a different, let's say, once you upload the data to CERSAI, the chances of getting it rejected or not generating a KIN number are there. Here, when you submit a data to me, I'm not doing any other processing. I'm not comparing myself with CERSAI. It's okay. How should I explain this? Is ki CERSAI will always remain intact because it's a regulator. We can't replace a regulator. So we are just being at the starting stage, ensuring all the data which is going to CERSAI is accurate and there shouldn't be any rejection, is what our motto is. That's how we ensure it कि all the data which is going to CERSAI for reporting is correct. And if you're reporting 100 record, 95% records should get processed within and you should get a KIN number. It should not come कि this data is missing, the images were not proper, the data was incorrect. All that, those things shouldn't happen. Today, I'm sure you would be doing it by the virtue of a person employing or a person doing it, eyeballing the activity. But system will do this on behalf of at the lowest cost possible. It's the same thing. People broadly use it KYC number, but it's actually a KIN number, KYC identification number. How many concurrent users your systems support? Up till 4 to 5 we support, depending on the organization. It goes up till 30 also. Sir, supporting document will be uploaded original copy or print copy self-attested by the investor. Sir, when you're talking about the investor, I'm sure you are following under the category of SEBI registered entity. Sir, in that situation, what has happened in the month of September, SEBI has released a circular wherein the brokers, are not compliant to update the data to CKYC. It's a KRS job now. Starting from 1st September or 1st August, I guess. It's a job of a KRS to update the data to CERSAI. Brokers has to update the data or intermediaries has to update the data with KRAs and they will in turn go to CERSAI and update the data. There's a circular we'll share after this session. Can you please share your contact details? Okay, we'll share that separately with you. If someone CKYC is already generated with PAN, so should I need to upload his Aadhaar? No, CKYC is not generated based on PAN. It's generated based on different parameters. So I, as a customer, I have onboarded as a customer with HDFC Bank, and at that point of a time, I've given my Aadhaar and PAN. I'm going to Kotak Mahindra Bank and giving my PAN and driving license. So it doesn't mean that my KIN number is generating basis on these parameters. No, my KIN will remain unique. If I'm opening an account with HDFC, Access or Kotak, it will remain unique. It's just the details will continue to update with CERSAI and they will have a humongous amount of data against me. If I, as I've given in my initial example, I have opened and 4 accounts with 4 different banks, giving PAN as a common parameter. But one place I've given Aadhaar, then I've given DL, then I've given voter ID, and then I've given passport. So in all the sequence, CERSAI will have all the details, but these individual banks will have only one detail. So it's best to use CKYC data for onboarding a customer because it will give you a very enriched data. Not only Aadhaar, not only PAN, but everything, whatsoever is available with CERSAI's database. So you are acting as a validator with source role being CERSAI, right? Or any additional validation tool? No, it's not. Okay. These validations are not my validation or not CERSAI validation. These are the best practices which is followed by the banks. So we are not eliminating the CERSAI validation. We are just ensuring that your records should get processed in a single go. And all these validations which we have built based on different taking of feedbacks from the customers, feedback from the banks, feedback from insurance company, from different sectors. Now, if you want to add anything else also, or if you want to remove anything else, that's highly configurable. That's how we provide the system. As of now, CERSAI is providing alphanumeric RFID response file. So in your system, will that reflect as? No, it will not reflect. If they are going to provide me a reference number, I'll show you a reference number. If they are providing me a KIN number, I'll give you a KIN number. Done. So there are 2 hands up. I'll just, so we have Media's Wealth Advisor. Just unmute them. You can unmute yourself and ask the question, sir. Bam. We are SEBI registered I and have CKYC official registered in RE. How can we? No, hold. We are SEBI registered I and have CKYC official registration as an RE. How can I differentiate from CKYC? It's the same thing. No? It's not a differentiator, not needed. Is that can be mutual fund distributed for online onboarding of a client? Sir, in that, yes, it can be used. CKYC data can be used for onboarding a customer across the RBI, SEBI, PFRD, and IRDA regulated entities for everyone. Customers having CKYC numbers, still institutions are insisting for KYC document. Then what is the use of customer with CKYC? So that's an adoption stage. That's an adoption. That's where at initial stage I mentioned ki all the regulator are asking the institution they should start using KIN number because that was a motto of creating of ministry or the government of India at that point of a time ki the customer should not get into a multiple documenting to every time and everything. There should be one central repository and you can pull the data from there. And if it is old or invalid, then you ask for a data, else don't ask for a data. That's how this amendment has happened. And subsequently, RBI, PFRD, and SEBI has released a relevant circular along to that. Other than the mention in the CKYC, whether it is mandated, yes, it is mandated to change the address. In my customer is already registered in CKYC and there is no change in his data. Do I need to confirm to CERSAI? Do I have started? It's not needed. If the data is same, you're not adding any value to the CERSAI's data. If there's a mismatch between CERSAI data and details document available with me, I just message in the mismatch in the data. How do I know mismatch with CERSAI? Okay. So if your onboarding process is very prudent and you know that customer who has come to you having the correct record, so you can override the record and CERSAI will accept it. That's where the probable match scenario come into the picture. Okay, they have one record which has an older data and you have to update those data with you. That's the purpose of CERSAI. If today or let's say 5 years back a customer has updated the address and today they have changed the address, so you should, because you are a face for CERSAI, customer will not go to CERSAI because that's a regulated entity. Unlikely banks or stockbrokers they don't go to SEBI. So you are the source, you are the face of CERSAI, and they'll update the data via you. How do I get the update on my customer where there's an update on? You can do a search API. Using a PAN mobile number DOP, using those parameters, you can search the data from. We have a search and download API also readily available. You can use those API and get the details. I guess we are on time, and all the questions also has been answered. So thank you so much for joining the call, joining this webinar, and it was an amazing interactive session which you have given. I'm sure you this inputs and this thoughts would be an useful for you as well, and we look forward to integrate with all of you if that happens. So I'll take one last question. As of now, Sarsa is providing alphanumeric, and so it's the same 14 digit. That's it. Thank you, everyone. We'll sign off from here. And Rohan, you may take ahead. Thank you.
So first of all, thank you, Saurabh, for your brief. I can say a detailed insight on how our how our banks can optimize their CKYC processes. So stay tuned, guys. We will be sharing you the detailed Q&A, the documentation and the demo. Along with that, the recordings of this webinar in our mails after this session. So stay tuned, for a mail with us. Along with that, if you have any queries, you can reply or respond us back, to the same mail which you will receive from either me or from my colleagues from Protean. Okay. So also stay tuned. We will be coming up with more such knowledge sharing sessions from Protean for all our other solution stack. So stay tuned, and we will meet soon again. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining the call. Thank you.